Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Motivate Social Podcast, where we're bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Aikyna Finch, and I have my lovely co-host Vanessa Canteberry with me. Because if you don't see me, then you don't see her, and vice versa. So, Vanessa, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Fabulous.
Yes, yes.
It is season 4. We are
Yay.
back. We let them have a little hiatus, but now we're back. So, what are we talking about today, sis?
My goodness. I mean, we've been doing so many amazing things in this time. And just, want to make a difference in this world and help change lives because we could get so consumed with so many things. And then next thing you know, the world changes, right? So we have to make some necessary adjustments in this world. And so one of the things that we want to talk about is like what are the things that we have been working on. We've been working on, making sure that we bring you guys those the information that you've been looking for, that you keep coming back and tuning into. We want to be able to keep giving you valuable information that's going to help with your growth. But we also want to give you real, raw, and unapologetically messages that's going to shift the way you think in or if it's in life or in business. It's important, right? So we've been making sure that we always tap it in to give you guys what you've been asking for. So in season 4, hold on tight, get ready, because this season it's time for you to grow. You've been sitting for too long. You've been staying in the same stagnant position for too long, whether it's in your life, you've been teeter-tottering like what next move you need to make, if it's personal or professional. In your business, you want to grow or you want to start and you just don't know. We're going to go ahead and deep dive into these conversations to help you to get to that next level, because we all have a next level, but are you willing to do the work? What you think about that, Dr. Finch?
Oh, I already agree. And we say we're bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. Well, that's how we bring it to you, right? Through the podcast, through LinkedIn, through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then of course all the podcast channels. And we want to bring it to you in a way that you can digest it and move forward with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys hold on to your seat, because we're going to go ahead and give you an update, because we love to share what we do, right? Because if we don't do it first, how the heck are we going to be able to tell you guys how to do it? Right, Dr. Finch?
You're right. You're right. We have to do it. And, what do we look like trying to give y'all all this information and then we don't even do it ourselves? That's not what we're about. So, the people that we are bringing on are actual experts in their field, whether they're sung or unsung. We want you to really see what people are really doing to change the world. And it might be an idea that you have been thinking about doing forever, and now you have a reference point to get started. Or it could be somebody that you thought about how they do one thing one way, but you find out that they have so many other layers to them that uh, might inspire you to reach your greater. So this is some of the things that we're going to be bringing to you on the series.
I am super duper excited. Dr. Finch, I got a question for you.
All right, I'm ready.
What was the most moving moment in your life that took place during the pandemic?
Okay. I think the most moving one would have to be the emergency surgery I had to have, because that really opened my eyes to the fact that I was pushing myself much more than I needed to be pushing myself. And the pandemic, when everything shut down and I was still doing the most important things, it made me realize that uh, I was putting priorities where it didn't necessarily need to be. And because of that, it really made me change my focus about certain things and spend time in different spaces and different places and really elevate my life to a different level in a different way. How about you?
Woo-wee. Mm. What did it for me when I couldn't get up? When I knew I'm in trouble, I knew there was a change happening. I was being knocked down more than I expected. And I didn't know how to get up again. And usually I'm the one who get back up again. I'm the one who's been working from home for a long time. So I'm okay with that. I'm a homebody. I'm okay with that. But during this pandemic, it scared me more than anything when you have family members who have um, now they have attracted the COVID. Um, when you have to be able to juggle um, a new grandchild in this world in a pandemic, adjusting to that, running and taking care of everybody else, and you skipped over yourself. That's when I knew I have to start saying no more. That's when I had to stand up again, learn how to get back up again, learn how to take the necessary steps to make sure I take time out for me. That's what shifted the pandemic in me.
Wow. That right there, you know, I guess we both kind of came into like a solemn thing. So we need to give them a happy thing, right? Because
Absolutely.
now that I think about it, I was like, oh, those were both kind of downers. But let's
But they
do
are
something.
reality that people don't want to talk about, you know.
I
It's real
agree.
stuff they want to, brush it up under the rug, but it's real out here. This stuff is something that say, dang, okay, you know what? Okay, I wasn't the only one that was feeling that way. I went through that too. Okay, all right. So that means that I'm okay, that I can get back up again, that I can still move forward, that I can't check on myself, that you can make sure that you stop and just say, wait a minute, hold on. Hold on now. I don't want to be in nobody's hospital. Boy, I probably am in the hospital, just getting out of the hospital. But how did I get to this place? So that's some real stuff that we don't hear often. But it's an eye opener. This pandemic is scary. I have just heard, I think it's in I want to say Michigan. That's what I want to say. That their numbers are going back up. What the heck? One of my clients, not only did she catch it through, and she's a teacher, she caught it through transmission from students who didn't carry the COVID. But not only did it pass through her, her whole entire family caught it. And it ended up her and her husband in the hospital. So we want you guys to know, please put your mask on. Please be safe. Don't follow what everybody want to do and go travel and still not have a mask. Put your mask on. We're not here to advocate who takes the shot, who not going to take the shot. We just want you guys to be safe. That's important. Be safe, because we want to be able to keep coming back and knowing that you are here to make progress. That's what it's about. We already lost enough people, enough already. But I do want to talk about something. Let's give it some thoughts here. And this is something that I had posted, and people was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." See, I'm not a rap person at all. But if there's a lyric that catch my attention, it catches my attention, right? And it resonated with me. And Dr. Finch, you probably know what I'm talking about here. It was said that I'm slipping, I'm falling, and I can't get up. And I was like, wow. But we all experience that. We could all resonate with that. But the part of it is you could get back up. You could get back up. And so let's talk about some happy things here of getting back up. And what does that look like by getting back up, getting back in line, and doing what you need to do so people could hear from you, people could know more about you. One, I got back up because I started to show myself. I started to do more things that were clever. That's what I call it. The best way to say being clever with it. I started to take moments and taking time out for Vanessa, you know, started to push forward in what I had in my class, and it's such a success. Um, and now moving forward with my next class, um, finishing out my 10th book, just doing things that I said, dang, wait a minute, how many more? But I was able to get back up. Dr. Finch, how did you get back up?
Oh, that was a good question. The first couple of months, I actually let myself rest because, I was like, oh my goodness. Because, of course, I was spinning because I was like, I'm used to being gone. And so that was a whole new adjustment. But once I got past that, I said, okay, so what are we going to do to pivot here? Because, speaking and, I had a book that just came out and I needed to advertise it and things like that. I was like, okay, well, I had a whole speaking lineup to market the book. So, and the idea had worked because when I went to the event and I took 20 books, I sold every last one of them. So I was like, okay, so I know that this is going to work. And, but then when I come home, there's no toilet paper in the, like anywhere. And I said, okay. I said, this is going to be a new, and, eventually we got past that, but we still couldn't go out. We still couldn't go in the place. It's one thing, and I work from home as well. And it's one thing to choose to be at home, but it's another thing to be mandated to be at home. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes,
And you
big
come up
difference.
with every single opportunity for why you need to be out when you are mandated to be in. So what did I come up with? In the process, I got to have a speaking engagement in India, Australia. Um, also, I was able to be on several different podcast situations. Were able to be on different conferences, faith based and other. Interviewed on many different platforms, and it was all about repurposing and technology and things of that nature. Now that they have the time to learn it, they wanted to hear about it and what they wanted to do with it. So I went back into teaching posture, right? So it was perfect time for me, right? Doing Zoom classes, teaching people how to make virtual backgrounds, teaching people how to start podcasts, all these different things now that they have time to do. And then on top of that was getting ready to put the other plan in place. Had a book anthology tour thing happening. Well, of course, I sat on that for a little while because we need to make sure that people had food to eat. We weren't worried about that right then. But now I'm getting ready to put out one of the books that I had shelved, and I'm working on my second solo project in 5 years. So um yeah, things are moving. And the most important thing that happened during the pandemic is that I started really working with my all aspects of me. I had kept my faith and my business separate and for a very long time, and I realized that splitting me may have not been beneficial. So now I have brought all parts of me. I put all aspects of me in all things. Now at my church, I'm doing some of the things that I do in business, and in my business, I'm doing some of the things that I do at church. I realize that everything is encompassing, and I see things in a different way. And I have realized that everything that I suppressed because I was worried about what others were going to say or what they were going to do or if they were going to follow. When I finally made the announcement, they were like, "Oh, we already knew that." So, it was a lot of time wasted. But, at the end of the day, I feel better because I've said who I am, and it's out there. It's all on my Instagram and all the things. And it's been well received. Actually, some of the better received posts than most. And when you stand in your truth and your authenticity, things are really just going to start rolling in your favor. And that's what the pandemic taught me. I went back to my basics. I went back to my roots, what I love. Podcasting. Me and Vanessa did a whole lot of podcasts during the pandemic. Then speaking more, doing more technology, doing branching out. And then I let go of some things that weren't serving me. That's the biggest thing. I let go of things that wasn't serving me because, Joe and Schmo said it was good. It was good for Joe and Schmo, but it wasn't good for me. And so I just had to go back to the basics, go back to the authenticity, and let me work the purpose for which I was in. So I hope that answered your question, V.
Absolutely. The part that got me, I said, yes, yes. Those things that was no longer serving me. Yes. Sometimes we want to hold on to people just to be able to show them something that I still could do this, to prove something to them. People pleasing. No, the door closed, the lock is on, and we move on. So I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that you turned around and um you went in the direction of what you knew that you needed to do, and people wasn't surprised. I love the fact that you turned around and said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put this book and start it and make it happen. I'm glad that you're doing those things because I know that's tough. I know it is. We've been on this journey for some time now. So I get it. I understand it. But you're doing it. That right there, I'm glad you removed what needed to be removed and you start doing things that people need more because they said, okay, I've been waiting for that for a while now. So with that, my sister, congratulations.
Well, the same to you, sister. I mean, you're getting ready to do a event. You doing all of these things. You did an event in the middle of the pandemic. We both did.
Mhm.
Who does that? And then also you made connections that were amazing to other people's lives. You help people birth their books in the middle of the pandemic and do well at it. And so kudos to you. I mean, I, I might sit quietly in the background sometimes, but I notice all the stuff you're doing. And, you know, I say keep going because you are motivating others to be great. So thank you.
That's what we introverts do, girl. It's
Yeah.
hard. I tell people all the time, it's so hard for you to find a connection that is so divine. That you could pick up the phone and call. There's no judgment. There's no, there's a push sometimes, there's a tug sometimes, but at the end of the day, it gets done. If it's just for a conversation, just to have a venting moment, just to have a strategy session, just to be able to say, okay, now I need you to run something past you, and it's going to come from a good place. That's when you need to be able to have people around you. It's important to build those relationships. We stress this so much in building those relationships,
Mhm.
getting to know an individual so you guys could be able to have those connections. And of course you're going to have people that's going to try to come in and try to separate the connections, but what's meant to be connected can't be separated. I'm just saying, all right now. But it's an honor. It is absolutely an honor. Don't be afraid of adjusting another woman's crown. Whew. I think that's going to be our next one. So that means you guys got to come back, because that's going to be our next topic. Don't be afraid of adjusting another woman's crown. Okay, I'm not going to go into it, but you want it, you're going to come back for the next episode, because we're going to give it to you. All right, is that okay?
Oh, of course. Of
Very.
course. Because at the end of the day, Vanessa, they need to know that the people we have coming up, they come from all walks of life and they're using their gifts to change the world. They're not doing it because it was prescripted or it was because they were told to do it. They're using their gifts that they were given and their purposes that they were given to change the world in their way. The stuff that we're going to be bringing is non-cookie cutter, real life stuff. And it's built to motivate you to do what you are destined to do. If you've been holding yourself in a box and keeping yourself from what you were destined to do, then come on over here to Motivate Social and get that inspiration to make the pivot. If you didn't make the pivot during the pandemic, it's still not too late. It's never too late. Take this motivation from people who did make the pivot or kept doing what they were doing if that was their purpose through the pandemic, because some people couldn't do what they were destined to do during the pandemic. They had to pivot. And so this is where you're going to be motivated to do so. So please find us, Motivate Social, on all the social media handles at Change Your Minds Online. Twitter's Change Mind Online without the E. And then, of course, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Tuned In, Blog Talk. You name it, we are there. Okay, we're even on Spotify. Come on now. We're on iHeartRadio. Come on now. So if they find us good enough, y'all come over here and get that good stuff. Okay, they're sharing it with their audience, and we're sharing it with you because we know that the people we're putting on the show is real and authentic. What's your thoughts on that, V Money?
Absolutely. Absolutely, hands down. So they need to make sure they are following us, just like Dr. Finch said, because you do not want to miss it. We're going to go some deep diving in this season. And we had to do some deep diving for ourselves. So we want to be able to pour back into you guys to understand we had to do the work too. So we can be able to help you. So I look forward to you guys coming on back, giving your feedback. And also don't be afraid to let us know what else you want to hear from us. Don't be afraid. We love to hear from you guys. I'm just excited. I'm just excited about what's to come and announcement that's going to come out of it. So stay tuned.
All right. So until next time, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.